As a third year medical student, I've done uni for quite a while now, and I've experienced a lot of ups and downs, both with the pandemic, with academic stresses, relationships and social life, and my own mental health. But I feel like I'm in a good place and in a good position to be able to give you all suggestions on how you can also learn to thrive and succeed at university. Getting to that place is a personal journey, as it is for me, and it's a continual one. But I do think that as someone that may be a little older or more experienced or simply have a different perspective on life than you, I'll be able to offer some suggestions, advice and life hacks that can help you prosper. So today we're going to be talking about 5 topics, and you can find the timestamps to these in the description. We're going to be talking about succeeding academically, managing your finances, achieving a social life and work-life balance, and looking after your physical and mental health. Now, just a little disclaimer, by being that girl or that guy, I don't mean the TikTok trend where people seem to have this really aesthetic, constantly pretty life where they only eat 1 apple, get up at 5 a.m. to work out, and spend like 6 hours journaling, because that's not realistic, and yeah, it even makes me feel a bit shit about my life. What I'm talking about is being someone who's motivated to be productive, to be successful, but most importantly to enjoy life. Now, I'm not saying after watching this video we'll all magically be there, but what I do believe is that we all have tips and perspectives on life that can help each other. Now, I'm sure a lot of you also have tips and suggestions that could help benefit us all, so why not comment them down below? Let's help each other succeed and enjoy life a bit more. And don't forget to like and subscribe and follow me on Instagram. Now let's get on with the video. First, we're going to talk about succeeding academically, and I've had the good fortune of always being quite good at consistently doing well and getting good grades. So I'm going to be talking about some of the ways that I live my life that enable me to do this. The first is something that I actually started drunkenly talking about to my friends, which is having a non-negotiable goal. So non-negotiably telling yourself you will succeed academically this year. And what that means is that if you tell yourself you're going to do that, slowly every action and thing that you do throughout that year enables you to do that. For example, this year I told myself I am going to get a first, and unluckily I was faced with a module that I really hate, that I do not like, and I told myself, well, that's a non-negotiable deal, so you don't have to enjoy the lectures, but you're going to have to sit them and do them to the best of your ability. Now, this doesn't go to say that you'll necessarily achieve that goal, because for many different reasons it can be difficult to get really good grades, but what that does mean is that you'll have consistently been putting in the work to try and achieve that goal. So if at the end of it this year I don't get a first, but I know that throughout it I've worked as hard as I can, then I know that I can't be disappointed in myself. But if I was to not have worked that hard and not put in the hours and been like, oh, I'm probably not going to do well because, oh, I just hate this module, like, oh, it's just my bad luck, then I only have myself to blame. My second tip is to do a little and often. Otherwise, what you'll be left with is a deadline that you have to do, whether it's an exam or an essay, and you won't have that much time to do it. And it means that in that time, you will have to spend hours and hours getting it done. You'll probably burn out, or your mental health and physical health will probably suffer because you're putting so many hours into it. So anticipate your deadlines and think about how at the start of the academic year or at the start of the academic term, how you can build into your timetable time to slowly start tackling them. And that will mean that you won't be sacrificing that much time, but you'll have a better understanding and you'll have managed your time better, and you'll smash that deadline because you won't be leaving it till the last minute. My fourth tip is to make your work environment somewhere where you want to work. This year I'm writing a 10,000 word dissertation, and so this summer what I decided to do is work really hard so I could buy myself a monitor, because what was happening was that last year I'd be with my tiny laptop working at my desk, I started to get really bad neck pain. I bought a laptop stand, I started to get really, really bad back pain. It was so bad, like at Christmas I was hobbling around, like I literally couldn't stand up. I bought a new desk chair, didn't really fix it. So I saved money and bought myself a monitor that I really like, and now those problems have gone away and I really enjoy being at my desk. I really enjoy seeing a monitor that I've worked hard to get and being able to work with my screen for research and my screen for my essays. Now, I'm not suggesting that everyone goes out there and buys a monitor, because we're not all able to do that. But by making small changes to your work environment, it will feel more like a reward than a chore. Buy some cheap little LED lights to light it up. buy a cheap plant, print out a little poster or print out a little inspirational quote or print out a photo that reminds you of what you're working towards, because these little changes will make every hour that you spend at your desk a little bit more rewarding and a little bit more enjoyable. My fourth tip is to get Google Calendar and a daily planner. Oh my god, this has completely transformed my levels of organization and how I balance different aspects of my life. The first thing is that you have to sync up your university timetable with your Google Calendar, because that means that all your classes and seminars will come up on your Google Calendar. And then you want to add in when you have GP appointments, when you have society meetings, when you have like a sports club that you go to. And that way it helps you stay on top of all these different aspects of your life, because they're all synced up in one area, which you can actually get on your phone as well. I then also recommend that you get a daily planner, because it's all well and good seeing all these like deadlines and tasks that you have to do, but you also need to manage your day on a day-to-day basis. I'll then look at my schedule on Google Calendar and think, okay, how am I going to use the 8-10 hours that I have today in order to do all these tasks? That means I have enough hours in the day to do each task, and I'm staying on top of different deadlines. And believe me now, especially in third year, that is 1 dissertation, 2 modules, 2 different societies, YouTube, and a job. So it does get quite difficult. Now we're going to talk about managing your finances, and this actually isn't something I used to do very well at all. And I'm thinking, if in the first 2 years of university I'd done this, I probably have saved a lot more. The first tip, which is the most important tip, and I really recommend you do, is get a Monzo bank account. Oh my gosh, it beats all Excel budgets, all kind of budget apps. I love it. What I did is I added all the money that comes into my bank account each month because of my student loan, etc. So the money that I'm going to use to live off of. And then I divided by 4.5, which is how many weeks there are in a month. That gives you the money that you can allocate yourself per week. And then you can put that into Monzo, and you can add the different types of expenses you'll be spending each week. So from, let's say, hypothetically, let's say 10 quid you have per month. That's not a real value, but let's just say £10. Let's say you're going to spend £5 on groceries, £2 on travel, and £3 on going out with friends, club tickets, etc. Any money that you have left over, that can go towards the next week, and you can have a bit more to spend on something, or you can save it. And it has been so good, because by constantly seeing my budget, I'm able to think, is that takeaway worth it? Is that McDonald's worth it? Is taking the bus when I could cycle or walk worth it? It kind of keeps you accountable for these pounds here and there, which don't seem like a lot, but then in the end amass to a large number. I also recommend making the trek to the cheapest supermarket. So for us, there's a Sainsbury's literally 30 seconds from where I live. About 12-15 minute walk from where I live, there's a Lidl. Now, a £40 shop at Lidl is equivalent to a £100 shop at Sainsbury's. So even though it's a lot further away, it's a half an hour round trip, I have started to make the trek and started bulk buying my items from Lidl, because I am saving so much money by doing that. I also recommend that you get a job that is flexible and allows you to work around your timetable and your academic demands. So I'm a tutor for science, and that is the best job that I could imagine having, because if I don't have time, for example, I have a really busy week, then I can simply say, sorry, I can't do any lessons this week. Or I can say, can we do it at this time, because at that time I'm free. This is much easier than getting a shift job where you have to be there from X time to Y time, non-negotiably. You could also work for your university, so you can get jobs working for the student services or as a student ambassador, helping out with open days. I'm a student digital ambassador, which means that I film content for my university. Great, I can say yes, I want to do this, or no, I don't. I can pick and choose. My friends actually do Uber Eats and Deliveroo, another great way to make money as and when you want. I'm going to talk about how I got this social life and how I manage it alongside my work. The only way you will have time to do different things is if you do different things. So I've spoken about this so many times. There's a law called Parkinson's law, which is the idea that tasks take as long as the time you allocate to them. If you tell yourself, oh, I'll clean my room at some point this morning, it will take you all morning to clean your room because you'll be procrastinating. You'll think, oh, I have all this time to do this. If you tell yourself, okay, I have 20 minutes till I have to leave, I need to tidy my room, then your cleaning and tidying will take 20 minutes. So if you tell yourself, I'm just going to really focus on work, you know, it's quite a lot, so that's all I'm going to focus on, then work will take you all day. So I recommend going out there and signing up for different activities and events, because they will help work take over less of your life. And that brings me to my next point. When you get to university, when you're in university, this is only something that I started doing as a third year. It's never too late. It's to sign up to societies, sign up to different activities. Do those hobbies that you've been doing since you were in primary school, or those sports, whether you're a beginner or advanced. This year, I randomly just replied to an email from my psychiatry society, and I signed up to be events and publicity officer. By doing it, I've met a bunch of great people, a lot of older medical students too, which have given me fantastic advice about succeeding at medical school. It's going to look great on my CV. And I've also managed to learn about psychiatry, meet psychiatrists. So just signing up to one society or one activity can open the door to so many different opportunities. My last tip is to time block. Oh my gosh, this is such a good tip. For example, today, I have so many different things to do. I have to make this YouTube video, I have to go in to do some data collection, I have to go to the gym, I have to make dinner, I have to do some laundry. What I've done, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m, I'm going to be doing a YouTube video. 1 p.m. to 6 p.m, I'm going to be doing data collection. 6 to 7, gym, and then the rest of the evening have time for any chores that I have to do. I really recommend this because it takes into account when things take slightly longer than they usually do, which does happen because your motivation sometimes is falters, or because things are harder than you expected them to be. The last topic I'm going to be talking about is looking after your physical and mental health. My first tip is related to exercise, and it's realizing there isn't only one way to exercise. So you may think that in order to achieve your health and fitness goals, you have to do a crazy amount of cardio. So you just have to run on the treadmill consistently, or that in order to achieve your health and fitness goals, you just have to do loads and loads of weight training. This isn't necessarily the case. There are so many different fun and exciting ways to exercise. I hate the treadmill. And in order to achieve the same cardiovascular benefits, me and my friends decided to start doing circuits, or attend box fit classes, or attend spinning classes. And by exploring these different ways of exercise, I am able to achieve my health and fitness goals without it feeling absolutely horrible to do so. Because if it's really unenjoyable, it's not going to be sustainable, and you're not going to be able to achieve those goals. Diet is just as important as exercise. I am blessed to have grown up in a Latina household where we cook so many nice food, meat, salad, grains, plantain, everything really nice. Because what's happened is that since coming to uni, I see so many people eating a beige diet, just ready meal upon ready meal upon ready meal. And now, don't get me wrong, I love a good ready meal. They're tasty, they're cheap, and they're quick. So during exam season, regretfully I don't have time to make a really nice meal. I'm probably going to be eating a frozen pizza. But these people aren't doing it for those reasons. These people are doing it because it's just easy and it's a habit, and they don't know how to cook. But cooking is a fantastic life skill. You need to nourish yourself. You need nutrients. You need to have a balanced diet, because without this, you're not going to be able to have a healthy mind that is able to balance so much time, that is able to work and study hard. My next tip is to familiarize yourself with how to access the well-being services at your university, because it can be really hard when we do reach a crisis point, or when we are finding ourselves experiencing issues, to then figure out how to access well-being services. So you want to do it now, just in case you ever need them. So what I really recommend is registering with your GP. So that means going to the GP, giving them the documents that they need to become a registered member of the practice. And 2, to save the number of your GP practice on your phone, so you can call them easily and book an appointment if you ever need to. 3, I recommend getting into contact with your personal tutor, and every term touching base with them. Even if nothing's going wrong, just tell them everything's fine, this is how I find my term, because if you have a rapport with them, it can feel less difficult to talk to them if something does go wrong. Also, struggling doesn't mean that you're not succeeding. For example, now, as I'm telling you that I'm achieved a really good work-life balance and that I'm succeeding academically, I am currently in counselling. Both of these things, they're not mutually exclusive. You can be in counselling and you can be doing really well at university. and vice versa. Sometimes we can't fix things on our own, and it's really important that we do access these services to help us get back on our feet. I hope you found this video really helpful, and I hope it's given you some food for thought, and that you've had some advice or suggestions that you're going to start to do and maybe make into a habit. Remember that habits are really uncomfortable at first. It can be really hard to find the time to do certain things, like start using an online calendar or any of the tips that I mentioned. The more you do them, eventually they'll become second nature and they'll just become a part of your life. Please like, subscribe, turn on the post notifications, and I'll see you in the next one.